Step onto the flight deck of a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, and it hits you instantly. The roar of jet engines, the rush of wind, the buzz of high-stakes operations in every direction. It's loud, it's fast, it's dangerous. It's one of the most intense environments on the planet. Aircraft are moving, sailors are signaling, teams are shouting over engines. But in the middle of it all, one moment stands still. A sailor kneels next to a jet that's about to launch. You see it again and again, kneeling, pointing, silence, then launch. What's happening in that moment? Why does that sailor kneel just before takeoff? What role does it play in the operation of a warship that can launch planes in any ocean, at any time, in any condition? This video explores exactly why a Navy shooter kneels beside an aircraft hand, how this one action is part of a bigger system of unmatched coordination, precision, and trust on one of the most incredible machines ever created. Imagine working in a place where jet blasts can knock you off your feet. Engines scream louder than you can shout, and just a split-second mistake could be fatal. That's life on the flight deck. But in that space, more than 200 people and up to 60 aircraft are constantly on the move. Jets are being armed, fueled, maintained, and launched with military precision. At just over 4 acres in size, the flight deck might not seem huge. This isn't random chaos. It's synchronized, calculated, and built on layers of training, signals, and timing. Every team member is trained to respond instantly to see and act without second-guessing. Every motion, every hand signal, every look has meaning. Shouting isn't practical here. So, sailors rely on a complex system of nonverbal cues, gestures, signals, head movements, body positioning. In this storm of action and noise, communication is silent but incredibly clear. And in the middle of this carefully coordinated chaos, one of the most recognizably and important signals is the kneeling position of the shooter. It may look subtle, but it's powerful. It's the final signal before metal meets sky. So, who exactly is this person kneeling beside the aircraft right before it launches off the carrier deck? That sailor is known as the shooter, a highly trained, highly trusted individual with one of the most critical jobs on the flight deck. The shooter is responsible for directing the final stages of aircraft launch and serves as the key communicator between the flight crew, the pilot, and the catapult crew. They wear a yellow shirt, just like other aircraft directors, but they hold a very specific role. After the aircraft is moved into position and the nose wheel is locked into the catapult shuttle, it's the shooter who takes over final launch coordination. They visually inspect the aircraft, check for last-minute issues, and ensure that everyone on the team is giving the all clear. They don't speak, they signal. One hand goes up, often forming a fist or finger point. It's a universal cue for get ready. When the pilot salutes, that means they're ready. The shooter salutes back, then signals the catapult crew with a dramatic point, and that's the go-ahead to fire. The catapult launches the jet in just a few seconds, taking it from 0 to more than 150 miles per hour. All of that compressed into moments begins and ends with the shooter's kneel and launch gesture. It's a clear moment of trust, discipline, and action. Launching a plane from an aircraft carrier is one of the most complicated and dangerous operations in all of military aviation. It might only take a few seconds for the jet to roar off the deck, but behind that moment are hundreds of small, perfectly timed actions. It all begins long before the pilot enters the cockpit. First, the aircraft is carefully positioned at the catapult. Green shirts ensure the plane is properly connected to the shuttle that will fling it forward. Red shirts arm the weapons, purple shirts top off the fuel. Everyone confirms their tasks are complete, using hand signals and gestures. No speaking, no radios. The deck is far too loud for that. Then comes the final act. The yellow-shirted shooter takes position in front of the aircraft. They kneel firmly, deliberately. They look directly at the pilot. The pilot returns the gaze and salutes, a clear signal that the jet, the crew, and the systems are ready. The shooter then delivers the most iconic move on the flight deck, the final launch signal, a powerful fluid point forward. At that exact moment, the catapult officer triggers the system. In less than 3 seconds, the jet is airborne. No countdown, no verbal confirmation, just movement, trust, and timing. That kneel before launch, it's more than a gesture, it's the silent key to a flawless takeoff. At first glance, the shooter's kneeling posture might just look like a dramatic touch. But in reality, that single movement carries multiple layers of meaning, both practical and symbolic. First and foremost, it's about visibility. When the shooter kneels, they lower themselves to eye level with the pilot. This eliminates distractions on the deck and ensures that the launch signal is perfectly visible through the aircraft canopy. There's no confusion, no ambiguity, just a clear command in a chaotic environment. Second, it's about stability. Aircraft carriers are constantly moving. They pitch and roll with the waves, and the flight deck itself can vibrate from engines, wind, and tension. By kneeling, the shooter locks into a stable stance. It helps them stay grounded and balanced, no matter the conditions. But there's also a deeper reason, a matter of tradition, precision, and trust. The kneel is a mark of readiness. It's an unspoken bond between the shooter and the pilot. I've checked everything. You're clear to go. The shooter becomes the last human connection before the pilot leaves the ship. This ritual has been repeated thousands of times across decades of naval aviation. It's not just efficient, it's emotional. The kneel is a symbol of confidence, control, and care. And in the high-stakes world of aircraft carrier ops, it might just be one of the most powerful silent actions you'll ever witness. Becoming a shooter doesn't happen overnight. It's one of the most trusted roles on the flight deck. And only a select group of sailors ever wear the yellow shirt and take the knee in front of an aircraft about to launch. Most shooters begin their careers in other flight deck roles, blue shirts, green shirts, or brown shirts. They work their way up, gaining hands-on experience in every aspect of carrier operations. Over time, they demonstrate precision, discipline, and attention to detail traits critical to being a shooter. When someone is selected for shooter training, they enter an intense and highly focused program. They study aircraft systems, catapult mechanics, deck safety, visual signaling, and emergency procedures. They train under seasoned shooters, shadowing them through real-world operations. Every hand signal they use, every movement they make, must be perfect. There is no room for mistakes when jets are involved. They're trained to detect the smallest anomalies, like an off-center wheel, a flicker of hesitation from the pilot, or a misaligned launch bar. Shooters must have eyes like hawks and nerves of steel. And even after being certified, they're constantly evaluated. Being a shooter is not just a job, it's a commitment. It's earned with sweat, knowledge, and trust, and it's proven with every successful launch that begins from one knee. The kneel of a Navy shooter lasts just a few seconds, but in those seconds, everything comes together: training, teamwork, precision, discipline, and trust. It's a small motion with massive meaning. That single kneel signals the end of checks and the start of action. It's the moment when all systems are green, all eyes are locked in, and the pilot knows it's time to fly. Behind that, kneel is an entire network of people who've worked around the clock to prepare that aircraft. It represents confidence in the pilot, belief in the crew, and trust in the system. When the shooter points forward, they're not just signaling go. They're saying, "We've done everything right. Now, launch." It's a ritual respected tradition in naval aviation. It's both practical and powerful. It's been repeated on every U.S. Navy carrier, in every ocean, in every mission type, from training drills to live combat sorties. So, next time you see a fighter jet blaze off a carrier deck, don't just admire the roar and speed. Look for the human moments. Look for the person in yellow. Watch the kneel. Watch the silent salute. Because in that motion is the heart of naval aviation. It's more than coordination. It's culture. It's commitment. And it all begins with one small, silent, powerful kneel. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Navy flight deck operations. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories and military insights. Your support helps us bring more powerful content just like this. Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and as always, thank you for watching.